Kia ora everybody, welcome to the first video of my new channel, All in the Blue Unclouded Weather. The title for the channel is actually from The Lady of Shalott, which is a poem that I've really loved for at least 13 years. I think I was about 16 when I first read when I first memorised The Lady of Shalott and really got into it and started reciting it and just enjoying it. I think I had probably come across the first couple of stanzas or verses as a child in our book of children's poetry, but the poem as a whole I didn't come across till I was 16. Anyway, I'm rambling. That's just where the title for my new channel comes from, and I have had this channel open for a couple of months now, I'm guessing, but it's taken me a while to feel confident enough and to have an idea of the first video that I want to upload, because this channel is different from my other channel, my vegan/hiking channel. This channel is more about emotions and acting as my own therapist and hopefully inspiring you to do the same, and working through some issues that I've had for the last couple of years, and just being open and honest about what's going on in my emotional and inner worlds. And also I want it to be a place where I can be a little bit more alternative and artistic and just a little bit more authentic than I am on my other channel. Not that I'm not authentic on my other channel, but I do try to keep that other channel nice and upbeat and positive and inspiring. And this channel, while I hope it will still be inspiring, because I want it to encourage everybody to be open about their emotions and share their personal journey, and just hopefully we can identify with each other and we'll have things in common and other points of interest and difference which make us stand out and make us the amazing individuals that we are. You can hear Park, the dog that I'm pet sitting, walking around in the background. So that's what I want this channel to be about, and I have now decided on the topic for my first video. So many things happened for me in my personal life in 2020 and 2021 that I really want to talk about on this channel. 2022 has been a little bit quieter, and I've really just taken time for myself and gone hiking a lot more and not really tried to engage too much with the other people that feature in my story from 2020 and 2021. I've just tried to deal with things by myself, because I realized that when I was trying to work through things with other people, it wasn't a total success and it wasn't totally working. So I think if I work through things a little bit by myself first, it could be really helpful, just so that I'm clear on my own thoughts. And I think creating videos about my journey and my thoughts and the tiny little individual topics that have been issues and that are about things that are important to me, that have been central to what happened that was so traumatizing in 2020 and 2021. I think creating videos and just talking to the internet and just sending out those waves or vibrations into the universe, if that is a thing. I am skeptical, but I like to think that that will help me work through things and just become a little bit clearer in my own mind before I approach any of these topics again with my family member in particular. I'm not trying to approach the person who I was in a relationship with in 2020. It was my first really serious grown-up relationship, but it has ended now, and that person doesn't want to talk to me, and I have pretty much let them go. Although lately I have been thinking fondly of how lovely it was being in a relationship. But yeah, it's really just with one particular family member. So I'm not sure yet how I'm going to approach talking about that family member, but for now I just want to talk about one particular topic. I think focusing in on individual little topics within the broader topic will make this a lot easier for me, because I've been putting it off since so many things went down in 2020 and 2021. That it's just been a little bit daunting to make a video about it all. So I thought I would sort of break it down into subtopics. And the first topic is my doll Sammie. He's very important to me and he is kind of central to the story. But today I just wanted to read out the journal entry that I wrote about Sammie. just about like my memories of Sammie and what I loved about him and love about him still. So title, Sammie. As you can see, it's sort of written here, and I'm just reading to you from my journal. When did I write this? It would have probably been late October last year, I think, around the 20th, 21st of October. It was the same time I was doing the walk from the Lewis Pass over Harper Pass and out to Arthur's Pass via the Taramacau, or out to Otira via the Taramacau, and then I hitched Arthur's Pass and did more tramping around Arthur's Pass National Park. So that's just giving you an idea of where I was when I was writing this lovely journal entry. Yeah, just in a hut, I think. I was sitting in number 3 hut. Yeah, in the morning, and I just had the hut to myself, and it was nice and peaceful, and I wanted to celebrate Sammie, my beloved childhood doll. So I'll read the entry now. Sammie, my version of Hugh as a baby. Copied Mum with squares of blue striped cotton with flowers, slightly fluffy, made folded nappies for him. Mum said I was very good and natural, very good at folding the nappies and putting them on my baby. I also copied Mum's breastfeeding. Mum made Sammie blue fluffies, and fluffies was our word for, they're like little pants that are in the shape of nappies that go over your nappies. We just called them fluffies, and they're sort of like a toweling flannel material. They were pale blue, so I'm elaborating a little bit on the journal entry here. It's not verbatim. It's not just read directly. I mean, I am reading it directly, but I'm also adding just a little bit of commentary. Mum made Sammie blue fluffies from the same fabric as Hugh's. So Sammie was like my version of Hugh. Hugh's my little brother. So that's another reason why he is so important to me. Nana made yellow knitted clothes for him, a bonnet with stretch strap under his chin, a singlet with sleeves, one without sleeves, a cardigan with little buttons, and tights with booties. You know, those tights. I don't have a baby, so and I haven't been into contact with any. I don't have a baby. I don't want to sound creepy. Anyway, I don't have a baby, and I haven't been around any babies lately, so I don't know what they're called. But they're basically those little tights that have enclosed ends, so it goes over the baby's feet. At Churchley Place, Sammie and Susie were my 2 main big dolls. Churchley Place is where I lived from the age of 6 to the age of 13. And it was in Darfield, which is like half an hour's drive from Christchurch towards the Southern Alps. So at Churchley Place, Sammie and Susie were my 2 main big dolls. They had beds lined up in a dormitory. I used to move the furniture around in my room and make little spaces. So I think I had a set of shelves and a set of drawers, and like facing a corner to make a square. And then inside that square was my dormitory, and I had little cots lined up, including one for Sammie. So at the coast, Sammie and Susie sat side by side on my top bunk. My last memory of Sammie is him in there in his yellow outfit, the bonnet strap stretched too big for him. It was sort of stretched under his chin, but it was hanging down a bit. His dusty blue eyes, his tan skin, painted faintly orange lips, his mouth ajar in innocence. I remember everything about him. The wrinkles at his wrists, his bow legs, his toes, and how one big toe stretched forward, his left, his outie belly button, his skinny long limbs. As a kid, his head came off every so often. Mum would put it back on with a teaspoon. Apparently, when it first happened, I got a shock and cried. I have a memory of being given a sandwich with seeded white bread and peanut butter in the main car park of Hagley Park around age 3. Mum referred to such sandwiches as Sammies. I was only 3 or so at the time and made the connection that they were called Sammies because the peanut butter was the same tan colour as my baby Sammie's skin. Sammie was my baby and a member of our family, a forever part of my childhood. Dad took Hugh and I to the Antarctic Centre when I was 9, Mum either studying or in Australia for a teaching course. I remember being there and holding a new white baby born dummy, which I'd bought for Sammie with my pocket money because we had stopped at Toy World as well as part of the outing with Dad. Then the white of the flurries and crunch underfoot in the snow room. I'm just providing context, so this is part of my memory of being in the Antarctic Centre on the day that I bought a dummy, or pacifier as you say in America, for Sammie. We had been to, here I go on to say, we had been to Toy World earlier that day where I'd spent some pocket money on the dummy. Yeah. And then, yeah, I've got some more stuff written about the family member that is involved in Sammie's unfortunate ending to his story. But Sammie lives on in my memory, and I'm just trying to be really happy through memory, if that makes any sense. I'm just finding happiness in the happy times I had with Sammie. And yeah, so this is the first part of my story of what happened in, well, it's the first video that is of relevance to what happened in 2020, 2021 that was so traumatic for me. So Sammie is a part of that puzzle, and I just wanted to say a little bit about Sammie as the first part of this story. I'll make more videos on different parts, and it might not all tie up right away, but everything will be important, and hopefully it all comes together and makes sense in the end. And I'm just going to break things down and share it in fits and starts, and really break it down and just share videos that are sort of quite simple on small topics, so that it's not too intimidating, and that it's easily digestible for anyone who wants to watch these videos. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Ka kite.